Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad to have you guys here. And today we're going to be talking about WWE 2K19 and more specifically my thoughts on the game, or at least the bit of the game that I got to play. I got to play the full game, but I only got to play it for like 6 hours or so. It wasn't a very long time, but we did get to play it. And when I say we, I mean a bunch of YouTubers. And I thought I would make a video kind of telling you guys what I think, what the direction of the game is this year. Do I think it'll last? What I liked, what I didn't like, and I thought I would just make a video kind of talking about all of that stuff. So before we get into the nitty gritty of WWE 2K19, because I got a lot of stuff to say, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Displate for sponsoring this video. If you guys don't know what Displate is, I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. Check this out. They're basically high quality posters. They got really cool ones up there. They're metal too, so they're not paper or anything, and they use magnets on the back here. It's a little safer to put on the walls and things like that. But you can get them in different sizes. I got a large. This is what a large is. As you can see, it's pretty big. Randy Savage. I mean, it's you can tell, you can even tell on video that it's pretty high quality. But I got a bunch of these. This is probably one of my favorite ones. And they're all done by artists and things like that. So you can find pretty much anything you want to on Display. They got a bunch of wrestling stuff. They got like Ric Flair, Sting. I mean, these are really neat. You can get a bunch of sizes. If I were to recommend a size for you to get, I'd probably get a large. And thankfully, you know, they gave me a code to give to you guys so you can save some money if you decide to get some. The code is CMPULS20. Just use that at checkout. You save 20%, which these are pretty, you know, premium products. So 20% is actually a good amount of money to save. So if you decide to do that, you can do that. There's a link down in the description that will take you to Display and everything like that. But check out WWE, and even check out if you have like animes that you like My Hero Academia. There's some really cool stuff I think you would probably like. Especially if you're into like people like Bakugo or Stain, or there's a lot of cool stuff up there because I got those too. Just saying, I got a good amount. But yeah, just thank you to Display for sponsoring this. The stuff's down in the description below, and we can go ahead and get into WWE 2K19. So when we went to the WWE Performance Center, 2K sat us down in front of a bunch of developers, and they played a little pre-show before we could sit down and play the game. And it was essentially the direction of the game that they're taking it this year and things like that. And they showed off the trailer that you guys saw. I think you guys might have seen it before we did, actually. Because we were in the Performance Center, we couldn't look at our phones and all that kind of stuff. But they released the My Career trailer with all the Bray Wyatt stuff. And that was like the big first trailer for 2K19 where people are like, yo, what is going on this year? So we kind of saw that, I'm pretty sure after you guys saw it, but it was still like a big shock to everyone in the room. You know, it's like, what is happening here? We have seen nothing of this sort before this moment. And I thought that was really cool. They put up a PowerPoint, and the first slide was essentially, we want to make this game fun again, which was a fantastic thing to hear, because we have been petitioning for that for a while. At least I know specifically I have been petitioning to make this game fun again. When I went to the last creator meetup, which by the way, this was not that. I think a lot of people were asking. This was not the creator meetup. So they didn't like sit us in a room and ask us what we think should be improved on the game. Maybe they did that. Maybe that was what the trip to Seattle was for a lot of people. I know I wasn't invited to any creator meetup thing like that where I sat down and gave them my thoughts on the game and where it should go and all this kind of stuff. I did do it for after 2K17, it was for 2K18. That was the last one I went to, and that's the one where I reamed them for like 30 straight minutes on the franchise in general, because I felt like the game was falling off a cliff and it was going down fast. But I did not get invited to anything like that this year. But essentially what I said was the game needs more longevity, the game needs to be more fun, and things need to be changed in that direction, or else this is just not going to sustain itself. There's just no way it's going to happen. So seeing that first slide saying we want to make the game fun, fantastic. I'm not saying you have to make it WWE All-Stars 2, but you need to definitely add something fun to this game, because it's getting really repetitive. I'm getting a lot of franchise fatigue. I was just getting sick of it, honestly. On the way up to this, you can see how fatigued I was with the series. I did not like the direction it was going in. I was just not happy with it at all, and you could see it in my attitude and in the way that I reacted to things. I was just not happy with what we had last year. I didn't really like 2K18 that much at all. I knew from the second that I made that My Career video for 2K18, if you guys remember back when I first uploaded 2K18, when I went to the recording thing for 2K last year, when I saw those loading screens and I was walking around backstage and I'm like, there's nothing to do. I was not talking. I knew what this year was going to be like. It reminded me of 2K15 when we went to the creator recording session, and I was like, this is very bare bones. And 2K15 to 2K18, there was not a lot there. Honestly, there was not a lot of improvement. And like I said, the franchise fatigue started to set in. I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. This is just rough. So long story short, you know, I was happy to hear that the game is going to be fun, or at least they were going to try to make it fun again. Not trying to say make All-Stars 2, but if you want to make All-Stars 2, I'm here for that too. Just saying, you want to do that. In a way, WWE 2K19 is essentially what 2K18 should have been. I feel like 2K18 could have just been completely pushed out of the series and no one would recognize any difference, to be honest with you. I don't think 2K18 really did anything for the series. I mean, My Career was not good last year. It was just not good. So I was happy to see they changed all that stuff. But 2K19 is essentially what 2K18 should have been. This game got a ton of quality of life updates. It needed them, especially for Universe mode. It definitely needed those quality of life updates. My Career got completely revamped, which it needed to. The gameplay needed to get faster. They changed some of the animations up. They had to do that. But overall, I'm happy in the direction they're taking it. Will this game last, you know, through the DLC cycle and continue? Probably not. My Career is about 12 to 14 hours, I think is what I read. Maybe 16 hours, probably a little less. Whenever a game says it's 12, 14, 16 hours, you can probably look at a good 10. If you're good at the game, you know, you can probably barrel roll through it. So I don't see many people playing through My Career more than once. You know, once you beat the main story, it's sort of like NBA where you kind of can just continue doing what you were doing, but without the storyline aspect. So you'll do side quests and stuff. Hopefully this year, the side quest stuff isn't completely garbage. If you remember in 2K18, like it was like do a run-in 5 weeks in a row, but you could only do the run-in and then you would skip the pay-per-view. It was horrible. It was so bad. If there's one thing that WWE needs more of, it's game-altering patches as the year is going on. I don't expect them to do that this year, but it would really help a lot. There's some things that probably would have been helped in 2K18 if there was a patch for it. But it's very obvious the dev cycle on these games, especially if you've been around the block, you know how it goes. I'm going to kind of go through I have some notes written down of some of the things I thought. So we look at the main menu, and of course it always looks good. If there's one thing that 2K is super good at, it's the presentation of the game. You know, when you open the game, it feels like a AAA title. You know, it looks like they know what they're doing. It feels like they know what they're doing until you get into the nitty gritty of it sometimes, and it's just a complete clown fiesta. So the menus are super clean. You know, they got the whole Thanos snapping the finger thing. Everybody's floating away. It looks good. It's going to suck playing it at night because that screen is super bright. I mean, we were in a room with like pretty good lighting and my eyes were still getting strained. So be prepared for that. Like I said, if they wanted to patch in a dark mode, everyone would be okay with that. I'm just saying, we want to patch in that dark mode. So once you get past the menus and you get into the nitty gritty stuff, you get into the exhibition style stuff, the gameplay hasn't changed very much. They've replaced some animations that smoothen up the gameplay. Things go a little faster than before, which it absolutely needed. These games slug. These are sluggish games. And honestly, the matches start to feel, the more that you play this game, it doesn't even take very long. You could play this game for a week and you feel like you've played pretty much you've kind of done everything. You know, you've felt every match outcome there's going to be, and that's not exactly a good thing. It doesn't have that same pizzazz that something like a Fire Pro would have, where like, you know, I'm 6-7 months in or whatever the case may be, and you know, all of a sudden there's something I've never seen before just happen. It's like 2K doesn't exactly, like I feel like I've seen everything there is to see. It doesn't feel drastically different. I think the biggest change this year is the payback stuff, as you guys saw, where they added in that mechanic, which is a very arcadey mechanic, which I totally welcome. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, especially online. I can already see the cheese. I can feel it. I can smell it. There's cheese everywhere. I can already see the online. If that is online, if that is an exhibition, if that is in ranked play or whatever the case may be with what they do, we might need to like ban some paybacks or something. I can already kind of see that if that is the case with online. But paybacks are a new mechanic. You get 2 paybacks. You can change them before the match starts. They charge throughout the match. So if you get your ass beat, it charges faster. Payback 1 uses 1 bar. Your payback 2 uses 2 bars. You can only use the payback 2 once in the match, or at least most of the payback 2s, like appearing behind the dude. The arena goes black, appearing behind the dude. The new animations speed things up a little bit. I only played against the CPU, but I think they took out the 3 stomp. because I was stomping the hell out of the CPU. I think in one of the videos I uploaded, I stomped the CPU until I got a finisher. So I think they took out the stomp where you auto stand up. I don't know how that's going to work out because you could cheese the auto stand up too, but most people just stop reversing online. Like if you're going to hit me 3 times on the ground, I'd rather you hit me 3 times on the ground than me waste a reversal stock, get up and get my ass beat. No, reversal stock. So that's out. Some of the modes, like they added the triple threat tags and things like that. That's a very welcome addition. I didn't even get to play that, so I'm interested to see how that kind of works out. I'm sure it'll be a complete clusterfuck, but that's what those matches are, so we'll see. Backstage Brawl added the Wyatt compound from the My Career, but it sucks. It's just the worst. I literally, when I was recording that, it was the CPU. Well, no, I don't. Okay, so I recorded it the first time with the CPU, and then nothing happened. And I went over to Jinx, who was one of the developers, and I got up like mid as I was recording it, and I was asking, I was like, so what happens on this? And he's like, nothing happens. I'm like, you're kidding. No, nothing happens in the exhibition when there's no OMGs, there's no weapons, there's no interaction. So I was like, there's no way, there's gotta be something. So I went back in, and that's the match that you guys saw on YouTube. I was like, can I throw him in the window? Can I throw him in the house, in the chair, on the car? Can I do anything? You can't. It'll be nice for, I guess, if you're recording stuff, having another place to record something in the highlight reel or whatever the case may be with that. But there's literally nothing you can do here. I mean, Jinx even told me they were almost contemplating patching this out. I don't know if they're still going to, I doubt they're going to do it now since everybody's seen it at this point. What they could patch it to fix it. That's also something you could do. But I was super disappointed in this because this is shit I love. Like, I love stuff like this. And I was like, that definitely doesn't add, that definitely adds fuel to the fire for people who are looking for something to not like, because no one, I mean, like, there's like this many people would like this. Honestly, that's just sad. I just don't, how could you not do anything with that? That's just weird. The whole thing's weird to me. But the exhibitions, like I said, not much has really changed here. It's like quality of life updates, and that's what I'm saying with 2K19 in general. It just feels like 2K18, but probably what they wanted to do with 2K18, to be honest with you. That's just kind of how I felt about the whole thing. I appreciate that they're making it faster and things like that, but one of the biggest problems with exhibition and just doing matches in general, even if you're doing My Career or Universe or, so when we were playing the arcadey versions of WWE back in the day, like Here Comes the Pain, Shut Your Mouth, things like that, it didn't exactly matter what the crowd was doing when it came to what was happening on the screen, because we were jumping off of SmackDown fists, we were F5ing through 80 tables, we were jumping from the ring to fucking the crowd. It didn't matter what we did. The issue with the crowd interaction in this game and with the commentary booth, the issue with both of those is that when you're doing a simulation style, which simulates a television show, when I put somebody through a table and the crowd just goes, it completely, like, it ruins it. If we're going to do simulation, then you have to, the crowd is a huge part of it. It's not just like little figures in the background doing this. You know what I mean? It's not that anymore. Like, if we're doing a simulation style where we're simulating what's happening on the television, then we have to incorporate the crowd. If I put somebody through a table, they should be busting out, freaking out, crazy. They just don't. The commentary is like, oh, what a maneuver. What? We got to get something. We got to get, like, go watch the Extreme Rules match between Triple H and Booker T that I recorded. That was, you can just see what I'm talking about exactly right there. You get all the weapons, you got this crazy match going on, like, I'm putting people through tables, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's just like, whoa, what a move. And Triple H goes for the pin. But then randomly I'll kick, like, Booker T on the ground like 3 times, and Michael Cole's like, my God, you gotta stop the match. So that's something that I think for 2K20, if they could do something with that, that would be very appreciated. It's some sort of just changing the atmosphere. The atmosphere sucks. That's the biggest thing, is just, it doesn't feel like a match. And that's what takes me out of, takes me out of it a lot, is it doesn't actually feel like a match. It just feels like we're going through the motions, you know? So something like that would be very much appreciated. You know, getting the crowd into spots. I don't know exactly, like I'm not a game developer like that, so I don't exactly know what that entails. I don't know how hard that is. I assume because they haven't done it, they either didn't think it was a huge thing, so it wasn't on the priority list, or it's just too difficult to kind of figure out what's going on. I mean, the crowd sort of pipes up when you do something, but it's not like it should be. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not crazy. And speaking of the commentary in 2K19, the entrance commentary is fantastic. You guys see those entrances, right? Fantastic. They did like that was like, it was almost TV like. It's crazy how that is. I mean, even like Tony Nese has got one of the coolest entrances in the game. They did fantastic on the entrances, but once the bell rings, the commentary just sucks again. They still have to work. And I think tying in that commentary to what's happening on the screen and tying it in to the crowd reaction, I think that's a whole thing that they need to work on, because the presentation there, it just ain't happening. Like, it's just not working for me. That's one of the bigger things that they should probably work on there, is once that bell rings, the commentary is just trash again. So I give them props. The exhibition was better. The entrances were better, but the actual, like, once you get into the nitty gritty of the game, it just feels like the same old, same old. So I feel like maybe I think that would make a huge change, to be honest. I really do. So moving on to my career, and I just realized this will be a long-winded video, so I hope you guys stick with me. I got a lot of things to say. I always do. My career, they completely changed it this year. They finally made honestly, this isn't my career, right? This is Road to WrestleMania. They just don't want to call it that. It's like if my career and Road to WrestleMania just had a baby. They finally made a real story, my career, which is exactly what people wanted. It's like a Spike Lee joint. If Spike Lee wanted to make it, they could probably get Spike Lee. It'd probably be, don't even want to talk about what it would be like, but it feels like it, And I talked to one of the developers that worked on my career, and they said next year one of the things they want to work on is adding more branching options and things like that. Because as you guys saw in the gameplay, at least the first hour or so, you have some branching options. But what they said last year is they want to. That's like their big priority next year is working on expanding those branching options. You have your cell phone menu with the messages and things like that, the fake podcasts and stuff. Look, I'm just saying. I recommended the Towers thing when I went up there last time. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that they're, I'm just mentioning the coincidence. So I just happened to say something about Tower Mode, and we're like, yeah, cool. Tower Mode's in the game this year. The fake podcast things and things like that. I'm just saying, one of the dudes that does one of the fake podcasts in the cell phone menu, his name is Pete Clark. Out of all the names in the world, somehow Clark gets in the mix, like my man Clark Jr. I'm just saying. Hey, you ain't here. You don't actually walk around backstage in my career, which is so good. Oh my God, I hated walking around backstage. It was horrible. It was so pointless, man. Like, if I never see that valet parking dude again, it'd be too soon. There was no point in talking to anybody. They all said the same thing. All the women were like, Stephanie McMahon's the greatest woman that's ever lived. Please, God, tell her that I said something good about her. Please. It was really scary. It was horrible. Walking around backstage, they basically took the menus, split them up, and then put 20,000 40-minute cutscenes in between everything. It was bad. I hated it when I first played it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the backstage walking around. I didn't like when people wanted me last year to walk around backstage and talk to people backstage. I'm like, why? What? I'm gonna talk to this dude. He's gonna be like, "Hey, dude, good match, man." There was no reason to. So I was glad that they removed that. I don't think they need it, especially with how they have it now. I actually like it better how it is now. Everything's voice acted, which is a huge plus. I mean, they did a good job. The branching options are there, allows you how to, your my player can react to things differently. Now, I don't think this is going to be a huge, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be a catastrophically different experience, based on whatever you choose. As you saw there with Braun Strowman in the beginning of my career, where you're like, I want to do this match. He's like, nah, we're going to do this. So it's not going to be catastrophically different. So I don't think you can have multiple playthroughs and you'll get a super different experience. But there is quite a few branching options. So, I'll take it. He said next year that they'll work on it. Now, the story itself is super ham-fisted. You saw it. Hey, everybody saw it. The cheesiness, we saw it. The cheesiness but I'll be honest with you, cheesiness makes memorable stuff. Like NBA 2K had Be Fresh, which was but you remember it, right? I mean, at least it be fresh. God, at least you remember it. So I mean, the cheesiness, you know, like walking around with urns, collecting souls, things like that. I don't have a problem with that. Like it's a game. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if it's bad, cheesy, I don't know what to tell you, Chief. You want to fix that. But this felt kind of, you know, like Braun Strowman out there, like repping the stage set, you know, like I'm gonna kill you. Okay, yeah, that's cool. There's no paying microtransactions this year, but don't hold your breath. You know it's coming. And I really think that they shouldn't do what they're planning on doing, because I know they're planning it. Look, no one here is dumb. We know what's coming. No one here is dumb. You could tell me every year that there's no microtransactions this year, but we know it's coming. Like, it's going to happen. But maybe don't do it the way that you're setting it up. I don't want to pay for Pants 007 or Macho Man Glove 001. Like, I'm just not interested in that. I don't even like doing that, period. I hate that whole system. I think it is so damn stupid. Like, I don't think you need to, like, when you're a wrestler, look at the people debuting in NXT right now. They're coming in full gimmicked out, lights, cameras, action. They're superheroes. I mean, it's insane. So, and I understand, like, we're in this game, we're starting in the indies in a bug van, this and that. But I'd rather just go ahead and make my own damn gimmick. You know, it's stifling me from the rest of the game, because I can't take my player out of my career. I don't like that. You know, I can't take him out of my career. I can't make him in the universe and then put him in the my career, because the whole system where you have to buy things. I think that's just don't do that. No one. There's not a lot of people that like that, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I can just speak for myself. I don't like it. I don't like that. Pants 007. Out of here. I don't want to mess with that. I definitely don't want to be paying no real life money for no Pants 007. Definitely something I do not want to be doing. So that's like a big takeaway. That's like a big negative for me, is like having to do that. I don't like that. I don't like buying the loot packs and things like that. I don't have a problem with loot packs. If they did something more interesting with the loot packs, I would probably be more inclined to buy it. Dude, I am a mobile game fiend. If there is a Halloween gacha for some game I'm playing, I'm spending money. If there's a Christmas gacha, I'm spending money. If there's a New Year gacha, I'm spending money. If someone on Reddit that literally just made an account says, man, that character seems like it would be good in this random scenario, I'm going to get it. I am. That's just how I am. But I'm not paying money for Pants 007. It's just, look, Chief, it ain't happening. It ain't. That's not happening. So maybe find a different way to monetize the game. Maybe find a different way to do this whole thing, because I want to be able to export my player. I want to be able to import people. I want to be able to do things like that. And if this one single thing is doing this, then find a different way for players to progress. There's got to be a different way than just buying clothes and putting them on. There's got to be a different way. You just have to sit down and think about it for a second. There's got to be a different way. That's just the biggest negative for me. Also, still no women's My Career, which is a damn shame. At this point, if you cannot put the resources into making a women's My Career, then just let the women fight the men. What is the problem here? Like, what is the problem here? Why can't the women just, you know, if we really can't, it's a video game. If we cannot put the resources into doing a women's My Career with 40 women on the roster, why can't you? It's got to be a WWE thing. It's got to be. It's got to be. There's no way that every year they're just like, nah. There's no way. They added a skill tree this year to upgrade My Career, which is easier to mess with, but I'll be honest with you, man, it is daunting as hell. I mess with skill trees all the time. I play Bleach Brave Souls. I play Sword Art Online, Memory Defrag. I mean, they got the skill trees. You got to go up and down, play no Path of Exile or nothing like that. You know, I ain't got that crazy skill tree, but the tree here is a complete mess. I feel like they gotta figure out how to cut that thing down. I like that they did this, because I'll be honest with you, the whole attribute thing where it's going up and down, you know, that whole thing, it's good if you're making a wrestler to put on, you know, community creations or whatever the deal may be there. But if you're, you know, I think the skill tree works for My Career. It's just completely daunting. You open it up and you're like, I don't know what's happening right now. it's got to be better. You know, you look at games like Spider-Man or God of War, literally any game over the past couple of years. The three skill tree thing where there's like 3 main skills and then you go up the skill tree. That's like every game lately, all of them. And this is like the most daunting one yet. And these games are like 40 times more popular in WWE. You guys got to be able to like figure something out here, right? I mean, like they can figure it out. Like we can figure out something here. There's got to be some sort of give and take where the skill tree is, there, but it's more manageable. I'm not against the skill tree. I like the skill tree. It's just a little too much. Apparently you can join factions this year, get rewards for that. I didn't get to mess around with that, but that is really interesting to me, like joining factions and stuff. I think there was like NWO, The Shield, DX, things like that. So I think that's pretty interesting. Zombie or Monster Triple H is in my career. I don't know the exact storyline. I think it has to do with Bray Wyatt kidnapping you. And dude, this is like I love it. Like Bray Wyatt gasses the hell out of you, and then like you have some hallucination where you fight zombie Triple H. I'm just inferring it from the trailer. I don't know what it is, but it looks like that. Like it gasses you out. You know, you have hallucination. You fight. I'm down with that. I like cheesy stuff like that. I think that's fun. That's cool. That's neat. I like it. I think that that's cool to me. I'm fine with that. There's just a few things in my career that I don't think they got exactly right. But like I said, 2K20 is going to probably be, the more fleshed out version of this game. Universe mode got a bunch of quality of life updates. This mode desperately needed it. It was getting real old real quick. You can pick who wins your simmed matches now, which is really nice. Money in the Bank finally being a thing you can mess around with, having entrances with Money in the Bank. Being able to vacate championships. Just saying that out loud, man. Like, so it's crazy that some of this stuff has fallen under the radar for as long as it has. It's nothing huge with universe mode, but like all these little things start to add up. And you get that one big thing. So that's kind of how it is. I think that's a step in the right direction for this mode, but I don't exactly know what else. There's obviously more quality of life updates. Like if I were to sit down universe mode, I could probably find like 10 more things that they could probably make an edit to. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. I don't know if you can do tournaments this year either, but I know that was a big thing. I always like doing in universe mode, and I always hated having to go into tournament mode outside of universe mode and then going into universe mode after the person won the tournament and make them the champion. This year, with the vacated championships and things like that, I still don't know if you can actually make a tournament in universe mode. With the way the menu is set up right now, I don't know if that's a thing or not. I don't know if anyone messed with that, or if there's a video of someone doing a tournament inside universe mode. But that would be a huge change for me. If that's not in the game, then that's one of the quality of life updates I would like to see. But I just don't know, like huge update wise, what you would do to universe mode without changing it drastically into like almost a GM mode sort of thing, which I still think there's room for a GM mode if they wanted to do that. But knowing how the 2K things usually go, they probably had to remove a mode to do that, which I'm totally not. I hate that. I hate that this game does that. Like I hate that you get the deluxe stuff to get like Biker Taker. Like that's so, like I like it, but the problem with it too is like it's such a half-assed version of Biker Taker 2. It's just I don't like the way that they do business sometimes. I'm not huge on that, right? I mean I don't know if anybody actually is, but I'm not like super huge on that. Towers mode is exactly what you think it is. If you think you do not like Towers mode already, you will not like Towers mode. I mean there's nothing secret here. So when I envisioned this mode, right, when I thought of Towers mode and the way I pitched it, I expected it more fun. I guess it's not like it's something to do, and the big thing is it gives reason to exhibitions, because once sometimes you just don't want to do universe mode, and you finish my career and you don't want to run in 5 times, 5 weeks in a row. Sometimes you just don't want to do universe mode. That's just how it is. You need something else. And that's kind of what this was made for, to give you a reason to play the game. Because it's like, once you beat my career, you had universe, and that's it. Like, what else do you do? That's it. So it kind of gives you something more to do. But I expected more fun stipulations, which is, if they decide to keep this mode in, is what I expect them to do next year. There's no way they don't do this stuff. Like when I was pitching this, I'm like, okay, all right, so there's going to be a tower this week where the ring's on fire. And if you touch it, you die. Or, you face Roman Reigns, and like if he does the fist cock taunt, he gains like 5 more stamina. Or You know, if he does the ooh-ah, like he opens the 8th gate and he fucking starts beaming you. Like, I was thinking like stupid, just, you know, like the tower this week is you have to go all the way through it with the lowest overall superstar and the screen's inverted on the final one. And if you win like this, you win like the updated attire from this pay-per-view that just came out. You know, I like the community creations, obviously, but there's something really neat about official releases from 2K. It makes you feel like they're more involved with the actual game. You know, that's what it makes you feel like they care about what's happening. Another thing about 2K that I don't like with them in the WWE series, everything feels super big business. It's like WWE is. It's like the exact same. And I'm not surprised that it's the exact same because they're working with WWE. But it feels so big business. It's like they put the game out and they're like, well, see you guys next year. That's just how it feels to me. I mean, they need stuff like, if you look back on the older games, you know, even back to when like Marcus, if you guys remember, Marcus Stevenson was community manager, and we had stuff like the 2K tournament at Access, or even back to Aubrey Sitterson, which, you know, he was way back in the day. He would get online on the weekends and play with people, you know, just more interaction. It just felt like they cared more. I don't know, like they were just like more into the actual game. Like now it just kind of feels like, here you go on Facebook and take this AJ Styles filter and put it on your face. Dude, I'll be honest. I'll be real with you, man. That's the dumbest I had never in my life. I don't know. I don't know who pitched that. I don't know who pitched that, but man, the job security must be crazy. Cause that's, you know, if I was in the room and I heard you pitch that and then you showed it to me, I'd be like, Chief, is that you? Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell him this ain't it. Cause I'm getting a little off track here, but just saying. So towers is pretty bare bones in that aspect. Most of the towers are just like, beat this tower with, you know, starting with a finisher. Beat this tower, your health doesn't regen. You know, gold AJ Styles at the end of the $1 million challenge is pretty neat. I hear that if you beat them or something, like it unlocks the gold AJ Styles that you can actually use. I think that's fun. That's cool. Legends lore in the towers mode is just text. That's it. I thought it was going to be like fun cutscenes that they, you know, would put in there. It's just text. So that's not happening. So that's pretty weak. I think towers mode will be a fun thing for streamers. I think towers mode will be a fun thing for streamers. And I think it will be fun for people who want something other than universe mode to do. If you have in your mind that you won't like it, honestly, you probably won't like it. It's exactly what you think it is. So the creation suite is not really my thing. So I didn't mess around with it too much. They added block creations, which was pretty funny. You can see that in one of my videos. Custom Money in the Bank briefcases is honestly bigger than it should be. Honestly, it's a great addition to the game. I think it's really neat. Big head mode is neat. I saw a lot of people were like, oh my God, big head mode just ruined this game for me. It ruined it. How much resources do you think like it took for them to make big head? They went in there and like assigned this. They made the heads big and then assigned it to a variable that you could turn on and off. And like that took probably 15 damn minutes, right? It's cool and it's like whatever. Like you don't mess around with it. Sometimes your boys come over. I don't know how many people have their boys over and play WWE 2K, but assuming that maybe somebody out there invites their boys over to play WWE 2K, you know, you can have some dumb stuff like that. Having fair play and exhibition's cool, where it just kind of defaults to everything in the match. You know, they had that online and things like that. So defaulting everything, it's a pretty interesting thing. And my overall thoughts here on the game, really, because like I said, this is going to be long-winded. I knew it was. I knew it was. I had a lot to say and a lot to talk about. I knew it was going to be long-winded. So here are my final thoughts on WWE 2K19. So my career is a huge step in the right direction. I think that finally they did my career how they probably should have been. No more Vicky Guerrero, no more asking about Tyler Breeze, no more loading screens, no more walking around and women telling you about Stephanie McMahon. A story. Okay? This is a step in the right direction. If they can figure out a way to make it last even longer, that's probably the next thing they want to do. The arcadey mechanics that they added into the game and the features that are arcade-like are exactly what this series needs, because it was getting very, very stagnant. Super stagnant. Tower mode, I feel like probably needs a lot. It probably needs to go back to the drawing board, or just add the stipulations I was talking about. Make it more fun. If we're in the mood to make things fun, let me tell you something, Chief. Scoring 10,000 points against 5 superstars in a row is not fun. I think Towers mode probably needs to be rethought a little bit. I think they made a lot of good steps with 2K19, but some of them not necessarily fully fleshed out. So do I think that you should buy WWE 2K19? That's probably why you clicked on the video in the first place. Well, I can't speak for you, obviously, and I know you already don't want to hear that answer, but it's the truth. I will say this. If you bought 2K15, if you bought 2K16, 2K17, and 2K18, you will probably want to get 2K19. You've already been through hell. You are deep in Mariana's Trench at this point. There was no hope for if you didn't turn around earlier, you're already too deep. You've already gone too far. That's it. If you turn around now at 2K19 when they introduce like a story, voice acted My Career, quality of life updates for universe mode where you can actually like pick your winners now, and you can actually do things in it, and this is the game where you decide to turn it off. And honestly, I don't blame you, because it's a 50-50 shot, to be honest. Like, you're in Mariana's Trench right now. You see something in the distance. It could be Jason Statham. Jason Statham could be WWE 2K19 saving the day. Or it could just be a big-ass shark. And that's just kind of the gamble, right? It's like 2K doesn't exactly have a really good track record. I will say this with this. If 2K19 flops, that's going to be awful for 2K. This is like the one last opportunity they have with a ton of people. Like, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I already have franchise fatigue for this game. If this game sucks, I don't know. I don't even know where that leaves me, because I was already almost over this series completely after 2K18. So this is, like I said, it's either Jason Statham coming to save us all, and we go in a, he picks us up and we go in a whole new direction out of Mariana's Trench, and we get out of here and we have a good time. We all live, this and that. Or it's just a big shark that eats us, and that's it. That's it. So hopefully things work out this year. As a 2K YouTuber, that's all I can hope for. The games kind of help dictate where we go with the community and everything. And if it's another trash year, I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I really don't know. It kind of scares me a little bit. I don't want the game to suck, obviously. But 2K's track record so far has shown me otherwise. And let's just hope for a good year. Honestly, let's just do it. That's all I got to say. All I got to say has been 45 minutes. So that's all I got to say on that matter. Sorry about taking up so much of your time. I rambled a lot there, but that's just kind of how it be around here, like I like to say. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to, remember to leave that thumbs up, kind of show your support for everything I do over here. Subscribe if you're not part of the team. I want you on it, so hit that subscribe button. And I guess I will see you guys when 2K19 launches, and hopefully we have a banging year, man. Hopefully this is the year. We'll see how it plays out, man. See.